During the Marvel Comics canon series Star Wars Age of Republic Qui-Gon Jinn, we see that Qui-Gon Jinn journeys very far away to a planet filled with the Force, and this story is called Balance, as it examines Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn's faith in the Jedi Order and him trying to basically get questions about the Jedi's purpose and if they've maybe strayed too far away from the ancient Jedi way. Now during the story, Qui-Gon questions, like I said before, how the modern Jedi have lost touch with their original purpose and maybe have become too political in many essence, and using the Force to guide him, he was brought to a planet with no designation. Now similar to the Darth Vader comic series, the light side in this story is represented by blue colored flora, while the dark side is represented by red colored flora, which is called basically a corruption on the beautiful plant life on the planet. And wondering why the Force would bring him here, he meditates in a temple strongly surrounded by dark side energies. During the Force vision he receives from this, he comes to understand that violence of war between those in the light and dark sides never leads to balance, but instead the violence sows the seeds for the dark side to come even back stronger than ever. Now Qui-Gon Jinn states that the key to this is balance, obtained through a means beyond conflict, which in his view is compromise. Essentially, Qui-Gon Jinn views the Jedi's purpose going forward as maintaining balance, not subscribing rigidly to one side or another, which would explain, his whole thing with being more or less a gray Jedi in some respects. This could hint how Rey and Kylo are able to restore balance, as they seem to complement each other in various ways. A lot of people in fan castings, not fan castings, but a lot of people in fan postings, they'll have them either together as an item, or like a relationship item, or they'll have them relate to each other in some way in a yin-yang type of position. And this is actually rather hinted in The Last Jedi and represented in the floor mural, as the original Jedi, according to that, are balancing both aspects of the Force, so not just letting themselves be either consumed by the light side of the Force, and they're not letting themselves be consumed by their hatred of the dark side of the Force. They seem to understand that both serve a purpose, and it's all about balance, which actually harkens a lot more to the original trilogy of Star Wars versus the prequel trilogy, with regards to how just more esoteric the Force was, not so predefined that light is good, dark is bad. And Luke, in the scene with Rey regarding his quote-unquote second teaching lesson, actually mentions how there was balance after the Empire fell. However, he's inaccurate in how he talks about this, because his representation of balance is basically no darkness, no dark side, which by definition is not balanced, because you're overflowed with, in this situation, just light side, which doesn't have to be always good and technically shouldn't be always good if you're trying to get balance. So if Rey and Kylo end up together either romantically or decide to establish peace instead of continuing war between the First Order and Resistance, this could actually result in the actual balance that Qui-Gon Jinn is kind of hinting at in the series. And I find it interesting that this series, being more of a recent series of the past year or so, that they're doing a storyline like this, because it's seemingly maybe hinting towards how the conflict in episode 9 is resolved. I think it'd be very interesting, it'd be controversial to some, if maybe the First Order and Resistance kind of end their feud and they come together as one united front with a little compromise from both sides, a little give and take here and there, and maybe with a dual kind of leadership role with both Rey and Kylo ruling equally instead of just one person ruling equally, which in that case would actually provide balance. If one person represents the light side on issues, one person represents the dark side on issues, and then maybe you have another third party who's not force sensitive representing more of a neutral third party side, and I guess the best 2 out of 3 kind of wins the decision, that kind of thing. So comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this kind of thing? Would it be interesting if they adapt this type of philosophy for balancing the Force at the end of episode 9, or do you think it's all just a bunch of BS and it's not going to apply whatsoever? But comment below, and we'll see you guys later.